Hello, and welcome to the Cryptocurrency Never Losing Formula Bitcoin Trading course. I am Adnan, and I'm a professional Bitcoin trader. Before going into the trading, I will make a quick overview of what we will cover along the course. First of all, we will start with an introduction to the platform that we will be using, a simple MetaTrader platform. You can use actually any platform. No need to use any complicated platforms or pay for any extra services. I will show you how exactly to identify the trend with Bitcoin. This is very important, and it always has been. Back in 2017, 2018, it was just one direction to go. But after that, we saw that it could be really negative. The most important thing is to follow a trading strategy that works constantly. If you follow it, then you will learn such a strategy in this course. With this course, you will learn how to benefit when the price is going up and when the price is going down. And I'm updating this course now with some new videos and trading examples 3 years after I first launched it, and the strategy works still great. I will teach you what the counter trend line is, which is a great price action technique. And I base my strategy on it, and with simple words, it gives us the chance to buy at a cheaper price and sell at a more expensive price. And the golden thing here in this course is the never-losing formula. This is a formula that I have created for the Bitcoin. And by using this formula, I always end up on a profit or worst-case scenario on zero. This is a unique formula that protects me from losses. Every negative trade closes without losses. Make sure you learn this formula because it's essentially important. Moreover, in this course, you will find the many live trading examples from the years which will help you understand how the strategy works and how I apply the formula. Enjoy the course and let me know if you have any questions along. Before you begin trading foreign exchange, cryptocurrencies, stocks, futures, or any other assets, please consider your investment capital experience in trading and risk tolerance. Our academy is not a registered investment advisor, broker, or dealer. Students are advised that all videos are produced purely for educational and informational purposes only and are not be considered as trading advice. A substantial loss can be suffered when trading in foreign exchange, cryptocurrencies, stocks, futures, or any other assets. Please seek professional advice from an independent advisor if you have any doubts. Trading or investing contains substantial risk and is not suitable for every investor. An investor could potentially lose all or more than their initial investment. Only risk capital should be used for trading or investing, and only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. All right, traders. So I have decided to update this course and probably some of my other courses with a lecture about the brokers, because many of you have written to me that you have a hard time selecting a broker that is suitable for algorithmic trading and manual trading. And I know many are being scammed by unregulated brokers. And to make it easier for everyone, we have created the Trusted Brokers page on our Academy's website, where we have written quite many tips that are useful when you are selecting your broker. As well, we have placed a few brands that we are trading with, and we are testing on a daily basis so you can see plenty of brokers that offer MetaTrader, TradingView. We have a few exchanges and a stock trading broker. However, we try to be very transparent and honest. So for every broker, you will see some pros and cons. My team has prepared detailed reviews for every broker, if you want to learn more about it. The most important, of course, is the regulation column, so you can check any of the brokers and see if the regulation works for you depending on where you are living. And we will do our best to keep this page up to date. We keep an eye on the brokers. If they change any of their spreads or commissions, we will be updating the page. So even you select a broker by the time you are watching this course, you might want to use this page as a reference on a later stage. Just come back to it and see which brokers we are using. And the best thing you can do is to compare 2 or 3 brokers with the same strategies or the same EAs and see which one will bring you the best results. However, it's a personal choice which one you will be using. We created this page to be useful for everyone who has hard times finding a broker. I hope it will be useful, and if you have questions about it, let me know. Hello, dear traders. My name is Adnan from EA Forex Academy. Welcome one more time to the course. With a short lecture, I would like to introduce you with the platform that we will use in this course. This is the MetaTrader 4. Probably the experienced guys are familiar with the platform. It's very common when we are using with expert advisors. So, with the auto trading button over here, we can trade automatically. But for this course, I will use it on manual trading because the system that I will show you, it's very easy, it's very simple, and we don't need any more complicated platform to trade with it. Here is the Bitcoin. As you can see with the right click button, you can see the spread. It's $10 for the Bitcoin with the broker that I will be using. I suggest you to look for brokers that are having lower spread. So this means that for every one lot size that I will be buying, I will pay 10 of spread. So this is the cost that I will pay. And for the traders without too much experience with this platform, very simple. From here you can change the time frames. From here you can use some drawing tools that I will show you during the course. And here are all the instruments that you can trade with your broker. You can download the platform and install it from the website of the broker that you choose. And of course, for this simple system that I will show you, you can use any platform that is providing the Bitcoin. One more time, look at the spread to be not more than $10 to $15, so you're not going to pay a lot of cost. Okay, guys, thank you for watching. Cheers. This is Petko Alexandrov from EA Forex Academy. And in this lecture, I will start with identifying the trend with the Bitcoin. And of course, you can use it for any other cryptocurrencies. We are following simply the Dow theory, which says, we're in an uptrend when we have series of higher highs and higher lows. You can look at that on a daily chart. It's more recommendable to do it actually on a weekly chart. So let me zoom a little bit over here. We can say we are in an uptrend now because we have these two higher highs and two higher lows, okay? Let me put the shapes over here. And as you can see here, we have one high and then we have another recent high that was formed. This one over here on the top. And then we have as well two higher lows. This one over here is a higher low. And then we have another one over here. So we have series of higher highs and higher lows. When we will consider the trend to be changing is when this low is broken by the price. So it forms a lower low, let's say somewhere here, and as well we need to have a lower high over here from the price, okay? So the price needs first to break this low and then needs to go higher, but it needs to fail to cover this high, this recent high. Or if a new one is formed here and then continues lower. So then we will have a series of lower highs and lower lows. But at the moment, we're still in an uptrend because we have higher highs and higher lows, and that's why we are looking to buy the Bitcoin. You can go back in time, guys, and you will see actually that during 2014, the Bitcoin was in downtrend because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 lower lows. And as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lower highs. So this definitely was a downtrend. But at the moment the trend is going up, it's very strong during the last months, guys, and we are looking to buy now. And I will show you how to do that. Hello, dear traders. We continue now with the lecture for the counter trend line, and basically, this is what our system will rely on. I will remove for the purpose of this lecture now the instruments, so we have a wider screen. And simply the counter trend line is the opposite thing of the trend line. As you know, the trend lines are lines that are coming with the direction of the trend. And normally, if you draw a trend line, you should start from the bottom. Make sure always when you are drawing trend lines to draw them exactly from the bottoms and the tops of the bars. So normally we draw the trend lines this way by connecting 2 points, 2 lows, and following the trend directions. So as we said, we are in an uptrend. So this one should be over here, and we are drawing the trend lines from below going to the side to the up. And with the Bitcoin, because it is so aggressively rising recently, simply our trend lines should look something like that. I will draw one more time over here and probably one more. Yeah. So this is the last trend line that we are having. So the trend lines are the lines following the trend, and they are showing the direction of the trend by connecting at least 2 points. Of course, if you have 3, this makes more sustainable the trend line. And a lot of traders are saying that the original trend line is the one from the bottom, but of course, this is for the Forex market. At crypto is totally different, especially the Bitcoin so aggressively rising recently that we need to draw the trend lines this way. So these are the trend lines that are drawn with the direction of the trend. And the counter trend line, guys, are the lines that are going opposite. The ones that are going against the trend, okay? The ones that are opposite of the trend lines. And that's why they are called counter trend lines. So I will remove now all lines that I drew, and I want to stay only with the counter trend lines. So that I will keep my chart clean and empty. Every counter trend line, you draw it from the recent peak that you have and a new point that was formed. So you can draw it over here. When the price breaks this counter trend line, guys, this is when we are entering into the market, and when you have a new high, you are drawing a new line. So you can see here I can draw it from this bar, and you can draw it with any new top that is formed below the starting point. So at this moment, if I am on the market, I have a new high, and I draw the counter trend line when I see a lower high, okay? And this is simply our entry point when the price breaks through this counter trend line. It's very easy, especially when it is so volatile, and as well with other cryptocurrencies. So here you can see I can draw the counter trend line from this and this top, and here you see the price breaks progressively higher. And then again, when I have a new high, I can move my line over here. I can draw it first, with this recent lower high, and then I can draw it here. But no, actually, this is a new higher high. So, I cannot. I need to start from here, and then I have this one over here. You can see how the price breaks. And with the recent high, we have this one over here. We can draw it first from here, breaking again higher. And then we can draw it from here. So, one more time. The counter trend line is opposite direction with the trend, and you start from the newest high. Okay? From the recent high that you have on the market, and you connect it with the next lower high. So you can connect it one time from here. And then you can connect it one from here. So you can see the price breaks again, and our entry moment, guys, is when the price breaks the counter trend line. Very simple, very easy to use, very easy to draw as well, and it works amazingly good. Hello, dear traders, it's Petko Alexandrov, and I continue now with the aggressive counter trend line, which is another tool in the course. Actually, this is something that I really like to use for the Bitcoin especially. Because the Bitcoin is an aggressive asset, guys. If you want to be trading aggressive assets, you should be an aggressive trader as well. What I mean by aggressive and what I mean by aggressive counter trend line. I will go back randomly somewhere, back on the chart to show you some examples. So, the counter trend line, as I have explained already, we draw it from a recent high going to another high that was formed recently, a lower high, and then we are entering on the break. So, you see, this counter trend line actually is very good because it's on 3 points. By chance, I dropped it over here and into 1, 2nd, and 3rd point. So this makes it quite more sustainable, and you see that the price here broke, it retested it very well, and then continued higher. So it's such a retest on the counter trend line, guys, gives us another chance to enter. So, if you have missed over here to enter, and you are already far from the counter trend line, and then the price just retested, it will give you another chance to enter, and even sometimes you can enter on a better price. But what I mean about more aggressive counter trend line, let's see here. You can see that I can build another more aggressive counter trend line on the recent high. So after this high was formed and you draw your counter trend line from here, you can take this top as the beginning of the counter trend line and build it with the next one. So I will go through here and see here, I actually have much cheaper price than the one over here. And more, I can actually draw it from here, going this top over here. So, you see now I am having a much cheaper price, so if I enter right from here, instead of entering at the levels of 25.50, I can enter at 320.30. So this is much cheaper, and this is very important to buy at a cheaper price and to sell at more expensive price. So this is what I call an aggressive counter trend line, because I just draw it from the next tops. And it's closer to the price, which gives us the opportunity when it breaks to buy at a cheaper price. I will go to look for some more examples over here. So, let's look for some more examples. So many examples when you are drawing counter trend line, or especially the aggressive counter trend line. So, let me zoom it a little bit higher. And from here, let's take this case if I draw the counter trend line from here, and you see here is the huge break that we are having. I can have more aggressive counter trend line going from here. So, you can see that I will be entering at 22.50 instead of entering at 24.34. So, you see that's a huge difference, guys, and I can go even more aggressively by drawing it from this last top over here, connecting it with this recent top here that we have after this huge gap. So, you can see now when the price is breaking, that would be at nearly $2,000. So, such a great difference. By this time already I would have taken my take profit. Something very important here, guys. Buying at the right time and place and taking your profit just when the others are buying will make you a winner. Please remember that one. Buying at the right time and place and taking your profit just when the others are buying will make you a winner. This means that when I am buying over here already here, I will be with my $200 of profit or even more if you wish to hold it. And right here at this moment when I'm buying at these cheap prices, this is after the Bitcoin was sold out. Obviously, this price going down is because people panic of having Bitcoins, and they want to sell it in order to take this profit of $2,000 for Bitcoin, right? So this is pretty much close to the stock trading massive selling when people are getting into panic that their asset is going down and they're losing money. So what they do is they sell it out even on the cheaper price. They don't care. They want to be out because they don't want to lose their profit, or if they bought it more expensively, they don't want to lose more. So here they're just selling it, and that's why there are these huge drawdowns and these huge gaps sometimes. And then what happens? The so-called smart money are coming in. The smart investors that know that this is just a moment panic the prices continue higher because we are in the uptrend still, and they just buy it at a cheaper price and they make a profit. So we want to be part of these smart traders, smart investors. We want to buy it at a cheaper price. Right after the people have sold out, we had the opportunity to enter at a cheaper price, and right here we are, taking our profit somewhere above with $200 because, as I said, this is enough for me and I'm happy with that. And then I'm not taking the risk to go here at these levels to go higher, because at this level, these traders and these investors that I said that they are scared and they sold it here, they are buying it again because they say, oh, okay, Bitcoin, it's going up again. Let's buy it again. And then it's happening the same thing. So this is called the trading psychology, which was normally created as a theory for the stock trading. But it's very similar. And I see it every day on the Bitcoin, so I'm not going into details now because I'm planning to make a whole course about it. And it is very important. But right here, simply what we need to remember is that we are buying at the cheapest price. We are taking the profits together with the smart investors, the huge investors. So these aggressive counter-trend lines give me the opportunity to enter at the lower price and actually to make more profits just before even the others are on the market. Hello, dear traders. I continue now with the next lecture for the important levels on the Bitcoin. So, except having the counter-trend line in this strategy, we will focus as well on the support and the resistance. And recently you can see what an important level we had at about 29.50. Let's make it just a round number to be easier. So you can see here the price stopped one time, second time, nearly a third time. And then the price actually stopped at this level when it was dropping. So this is what we call support and resistance. At first, this level was resistance, and then it was a very strong support. So the price bounced from that level and continued higher. So we can say that we have an important level when this level stops the price. Simply said, once it resists the price to go higher, and after that, like with this example, it actually supports the price and doesn't let it go lower. And you can see a couple of important levels as well. If you go lower on the chart as well as this level at nearly 750, I will make it as well round. I prefer to make it round, guys, because the round numbers are also psychological support and resistance. So you can see here the price didn't succeed to go over 750. Then try it one more time, second time, and then here it went up. You can see even small retest and then another huge retest and then continue higher. So this is what we call the important levels. These are the support and the resistance levels. And here one more level you can find at 460, one time, 2, 3, 4 times, 5 times here breaks, and then again works as support. So the support and the resistance levels are very important with the Bitcoin as well with the other cryptos, and we will use it in our trading system over here. One more level I will zoom a little bit, which was formed recently, is this level over here. You can see the price here was with a high of 44.63, and this one recent by just 3 days ago was 4604.99. When you put the mouse on the opening of the bar, you can see that time to open the high, the low, and the close as well the volume. But what we care in this case is the high. So this level would be exactly if I place it on 44.65, and simply I will have gained a little bit of a roundish number, 65. So I'm not going to go to point something, and you can see this level one time. Second time here, the price didn't succeed to close below this level. Here broke it, then bounced from the level of 29.50, and then again stopped at 44.65. And in the next lecture, guys, I will show you exactly with an example how we enter and what we have in mind when we are entering into the trade. Dear traders, we continue now with the setup for the system. So, in order to show you how exactly we execute the trades and what exactly we do, I will show you one example now with the previous counter trend line that we had, and it was from this top over here. Okay? Make sure it is exactly on the top, and I'm going down to H1 when I'm executing the trades and placing the buy stops. So one more time. When you're on the H1, make sure you have placed exactly the counter trend line. So you need to go back a little bit in time and start. You can see what is the difference because on a daily, you cannot put it precisely. And when you got to H1, make sure you do it precisely. And this was the recent top that I will be using over here. Okay, let's see which one is higher. So, the high of the negative bar is 4674, and this one is with 4674.98. Okay, so 7898. Very close. I need to put it on the higher one. So this was my recent high, and I will show you what was the execution of this trade exactly. So in this moment, I have the important levels. I don't have any important level here. And what I have is the price getting close to my counter trend line. So here is the entry. Every day I am placing a buy stop above the counter trend line because I do not know at which moment this volatility will come. Okay? So when I see the price getting close to the counter trend line, I put a buy stop. And with the time, I just move it to lower, but keeping it above the counter trend line. My entry was 40.10. Let me put it exactly. And I will put it actually with the green color. So you will know that this is my buy stop at this moment. So right here, I believe it was nearly on these bars right here. I have placed my buy stop. I have dragged it lower to 40.10. And simply with this buy stop, I have placed my take profit at the level of 42.20. So it's right over here. I'll put it exactly as a number, so you will know exactly where it is. This is the simple system, guys, when the price is getting close to your counter trend line, and there is no any important support or resistance level over there. Every day I am placing a buy stop, and I'm actually dragging it lower until the moment the volatility comes, because I don't know when this will happen and I cannot stay in front of the screen to wait for it, as most, probably I will miss it. That's why I'm using the buy stop. And for the new traders, what is a buy stop, guys? I will show it very quickly when you click right button on the trading. There is a new order. So this is the type of the order. It could be a market execution. It could be a pending order. Market execution is if you want to enter in the market at the moment, and pending order is if you want to place a buy limit, sell limit, buy stop, and sell stop. Simply in this system, we are going to buy stop. This actually means that you need to place a higher price than the current one. So, at least I need to enter here 4,200. You select the volume, stop loss we don't use in this system, and take profit we have at $210 higher, so it would be 44R10. So, for example, if I choose to place it above 44.70, okay? Above my counter trend line currently, and above my important resistance level, I'll place my take profit at the level of 46.80, $210 higher. Probably you are wondering why there is no stop loss. What would have happened if I entered here and the price will go negative? And this is the thing that I will show you in the next lecture, guys. Next lecture, I will change your trading. In next lecture, you will see a formula mathematically proved that you don't need to use a stop loss, but you will use only a take profit, and I will prove it to you with a formula with pure mathematical calculations that you will end up always on the profits, or worst case scenario, you will end up on break even. This next lecture, guys, will change your trading forever. And in the next lecture, guys, I will show you something that will totally change your trading, totally will change your thinking about the markets, and you will understand how actually the big institutions and the big players are trading without the stop loss, and how they end up always on profits or worst case scenario. Again, I repeat, break even. This means that you will be either on zero, either on a small profit, or you will be at $200 of profit of one lot. And of course, if you are trading with 0.1, this would be $20. So it depends on your capital, and if you are trading, of course, with 10 lots, then you should be ending with $2,000 of profit. Okay, guys, I will continue with the next lecture because it's a life changer. Dear traders, I continue now with the best lecture I can say in this course. And for me, probably, that would be one of the best lectures I'll ever record because I will show you the never-losing formula that I came up for the Bitcoin. Guys, to make it clear, this was long time invented for the currencies. But since the currencies have changed so much with the algorithmic trading recent years, it is very hard to use this formula on the normal Forex market, but for the Bitcoin, I have came up with this formula after long sleepless or insomnia hours, I can say, to calculate it, and to put it in this course, and to actually implement into the Bitcoin, I will show it to you now. And I proudly say that this is actually a life-changing gain. This is a life-changer formula. Because the big question is, we place this buy stop over here, but at this moment, guys, when I am placing this buy stop, the only thing I have the counter trend line, and I know that the Bitcoin is extremely rising, it's going up. There is nothing else I know at this moment, and the only thing is I can hope that it will actually hit my take profit over here, right? But many years ago, I have learned not to hope, not to believe, and not to expect to happen what I want to happen. So, I base my trading nowadays only on algorithmic trading, backtesting, and actually formulas mathematically proving that I will be on the profitable side. There is nothing else, guys. No hope, no believe. So at this moment, I am not hoping that actually my price will hit the take profit. Of course, I want to happen. But at this moment, there is a huge possibility, at this moment over here, that the price will reverse, and it will put me on a loss. So, what I do, guys? I place another target on the short side. So, I will put in green as well, because it's a target. And I will put a horizontal line properties at the price of 37.30, and this is my target. So, I have my entry here. I have my initial take profit, and here down, I have another target, guys. I don't know which one will be hit first, but I know something for 100% certainty. At a current moment in the future, the price will hit either this target or either this target. And I know one thing for certainty as well, that it will not happen in the same time. Right? I will show you now, and I will prove you mathematically with not so hard mathematical calculations that whichever target get hit first. I will be on profit, or the worst case scenario, I will be on break even, on zero. So, let's start now. What we have is a buy stop, we said, at the $40.10, and we have a take profit of $40.220. So I hope here you can see it. What happens, we enter here, and our take profit is here. And if I open the specification of the Bitcoin, guys, you can see here that we have one more cost. This is the long and the short swap. So the swap is basically the cost that we pay to switch the position to the next day to transfer it for the next day. So, with the Bitcoin, you can see no matter we are in a long or in a short position, we will be paying this swap. That's why I choose $210. Because I don't know how long time my trade will last. Maybe it will be 1 day. Maybe it will be 2 or 3 days. Normally should not be more than a week, because as we said, the Bitcoin is very volatile and it doesn't stay in a range for a long time. But if it stays for a couple of days, I want my pure profit. That's why I call it pure profit. I want that I will have $200 as a pure profit after paying the spread and after actually paying the swap. And you should keep in mind one thing, guys, as well. These 3 days swap here is on Friday. Some brokers do it actually on Wednesday, which is a really surprising, and sometimes you see some negative on your balance and you wonder why is that. And this is because of the swap. So, you pay as well 3 days swap on Friday, so you pay for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Even the markets are closed. You are still paying the swap to the broker, and this is very normal. We cannot actually skip that or go without it. You don't paying a swap if you are really short-term trader. If you are scalping, you open the trading during the day and close it. But sometimes with some systems, your trade will be left for the next day. That's why we need to pay the swap. So one more time, that's why I have choose $210 as a distance, as a take profit, because I want these $10 extra to cover my swap even. Sometimes the swap will be $4, $5, $6 totally from the trade, but total pure profit I will have at least $200. Okay? And here you can see some other details for the trading asset that you choose, and the specification. Actually, you can have it right button and you click on specification. Okay? And here are all the details. And also you should keep always on mind that on the chart, you see the bid price. But when you open a position, you open it on the ask price, and you close the position on the bid. So, we always pay the spread to the broker. This is invertible. We cannot really do it without it. So, just keep in mind that when you open the position, for example, in this case, the spread is floating, here in the specification. But for this broker, it's very stable to $10. So, when I open the position, I immediately on negative of 10, because I see on the charts the bid price, but actually my position was opened on the ask price. Hope that's clear. So, the first case that it's possible to happen is that we will have 200 of pure profit, right? So let me put it down. What we will have is 210 of profit minus $10 of swap. So totally, we will be having over here $200 of profit, right? Let me put it just a little bit bigger, guys, so you can see that. I will put it to 16. Let's put it any color. Green we have, okay? So, it's green. We have 210 minus 10. And here we have our take profit. We are out. We are happy. But what will happen if the price will reverse and go down? At the price of $39.40. Okay, I will put it again exactly. So, $39.40, I would put it in a red color because this is a sell position. At this level of $39.40, I will open a short position with a lot of 1.4. So, let's place one arrow down. So, what we say is that we actually go 1.4 lot short. So, simply, I will sell the Bitcoin. I will try to explain as clean as possible because this is very, very important, guys, for your trading. So we have 1.4 lots. Let me put it as well in the red because it's a sell, okay? So here at this moment, if the price reverses and goes down on the level of $39.40, I will be placing actually a sell stop. And now my stop loss for this position will be the level of $42.20, and my stop loss for this position, the long one in the beginning. So let me put also one arrow up to make sure where we are entering into the trade, and let me make it green. So I hope this way it will be clear. And also here I will put the lots. So I am sure that you understand what we are talking about, and here also we are green. Okay? So we have one lot here going up, and here is our take profit of this level of $42.20, $210 higher. And if the price reverses $70 lower, stay with me, guys. $70 lower, this is 1/3 of the distance of the take profit. Okay, take profit 210, and my sell is just $70 lower. Okay, I'm opening a position of 1.4 lots. So, the next thing that can happen is actually the price hits this target, and guess what will happen then? I will be negative $280. Let me put it in. I will be negative of $280 from the first trade, and as well, I will be positive with $294 with the second trade, right? With the short trade with 1.4 lots, and of course, I will be paying as well, $14 of swap. So, for every lot traded, I am adding $10 of swap as a cost. As I explained to you, probably it will be lower. With most of the cases, it will be much more lower. But this way, I'm having more pessimistic way of calculating. So, I prefer to put as a cost $10 and to have actually an extra dollars as profit left instead of the opposite case. So now, when I am having 1.4, I am putting $14 cost for the swap. But again, I say it will be most of the cases lower. So, if the price hits the target at 30.73, my stop loss for the first trade will be hit, and I will be negative of $280. But the sale position of 1.4 will be on take profit of 294. And these are simple calculations, guys. 1.4 lot times 210 is 294. And of course, for 1.4 lot, we will be paying $14 of swap. And what we have, I think we don't need to calculate it. Negative $280 plus 294 or minus $14 will be zero, break even. We will be out of the whole equation without any losses. Even the price didn't go the way we want. And of course, I'm sure into your mind now is what happens if the price continues higher. So, if we enter here, the price goes lower, we enter 1.4 lot, and then it continues to go higher. At this same level of 40.10, guys, I will enter one more time with one lot on the long side. So basically, I will buy one more lot. Okay? So totally, I will be having two lots long, and I will have 1.4 short, and what will happen if the price hits the target of 42.20? I will put it down over here. What we will have, guys, is we will have these 210 minus 10 from the first entry over here, and then we will have the loss of 1.4, because this short entry will have the stop loss of 42.20, and we will be close. So, what we will have over there is a negative of $392 plus another $210 from the second lot that we bought minus another $10. So let me show it to you with the calculator as well. So I will place over here. So we have one lot up, and then we have the negative of 1.4. So we have 1.4 times 280, right? So this is 392, and then we have plus 210 minus $10. So totally, what we will have is 210 minus 10 minus 392 plus 210 minus 10. Okay? So, what we have in the end, guys, is $8 of profit. So, what I am doing right now, I am building this middle section, which actually is my trigger section with two lines where I am buying and selling. I have the middle section, which is equal to $70 of distance. This is the distance between the upper line and the lower line. The upper when we are buying, the lower when we are selling. After that, it's very possible that the price as well will go lower. And then what I will do, I will sell again at this level over here. Let me make it in red, because it's a sale, okay? So what I have, it's another sell again, 1.4 lots right over here, red again, and then totally, guys, we have 1.4 lots. 1.4 short, so totally we have 2.8. And the result, if the price hits the target of 37.30, will be total of negative to 80 plus 294 minus 14. And then from these long trade over here, I will have again another negative of 280. And then I will have a positive of 294 again and another $14 of swap. So totally, you can do the calculation again without the calculator. I believe this is zero. So, again, if the price hits my target over here, I will be out of the whole trade without any losses. And again, if the price continues higher and it breaks 40.10, I will open a new buy position, but this time my lot need to be higher. So, what I will enter with? I will enter with 1.95 lots. Is 1.95, and you will see why. So, totally here, when the price breaks 42.20, we will have negative of these 1.4. So this will be minus another 392, plus what we will have of 1.95 will be 1.95 times 210 total of 409.5. So it is 409.5, and this is in dollars. Let me put the dollar mark over here, and we have as well swap 19.50. So here's the dollar again. So totally here, we will have 210 minus 10 minus 392 plus 210 minus 10. What we have is $8, and then what we have is minus 392 plus 409.5 minus 19.5. So all we have is $6 left. We will be again on profit, and this is how it goes, guys. This is how you can actually never end up on loss, and you will not have a problem with the margin because you are having long and short positions, and they are very close to each other. So, what we have is simple, and what we have is something that really works fantastic with the Bitcoin, guys. Because in our experience so far with Bitcoin, we didn't see a case where the price is staying in such a range more than 2 or 3 times. Most of the time, the price will hit your take profit. But if it doesn't, you have your second take profit over here. You have this fantastic formula that will protect you from loss and whatever happens. And once again, with certainty, you should know that the price will hit sooner or later. One of the two take profits. And just for your information, with the further calculation over here, if by cent chance and what happens that you will need to go again lower, you need to go down here with lots of 2.75. So, let me put it down so you can have it in mind. But I will really appreciate if you sit down, take a pen and a paper and write down the whole formula and calculate it for yourself. Because these formula, guys, can be modified the way that you want. I have chosen this take profit because first of all, I am very happy if I have $200 of profit. And second of all, because I have a lot of research, as I told you, and I saw that actually we don't have the case where the price for the Bitcoin will stay so long time sideways. And this is actually the problem that comes if you trade this on the Forex market, the price can stay in a range for so long. But look at the chart of the Bitcoin, guys. It doesn't stay in such range. And of course, if you use the powerful tool of counter trend line and the important support and resistance lines that I show you more than 50% of the time, I can tell you that with certainty you will hit your take profit from the first chart, just like what have happened in this example. But right here, and just showing you what you need to do if the price goes against the trends, and what lots you need to open, how you need to calculate it, and simply said what you need to do to change your trading, and never, ever, ever have a stop loss again to eat your capital. What I suggest to you is to write down the formula, do the calculations for yourself on a wide piece of paper, and you can start practicing. Even you enter, guys, somewhere, and you will place your take profit, and you will create your middle section. You will end up always on a profit, a small profit, 6 to 8 or more dollars, or worst case scenario, you will end up with 0 break even. And this is fantastic, guys. You don't need to put a stop loss because simply you can see now that it's not needed. For one of my other course, I had this criticism from some of the students that I'm using actually expert advisors without stop loss. And yes, I do. Because if the price goes against me, I can always calculate how to create my middle section and how to have my take profit. So in this way, guys, I don't know if you realize what I'm telling you here, but in this way you can always exit from a negative trade with 0. I'm really so excited to tell this, and I really hope that more people will see this, because this is something that will change your trading. You can exit out of any negative trade. I have this huge counter trend line coming from above. And now, I'm having these smaller counter trend line, and actually, I will be drawing now one more aggressive counter trend line. I will zoom it a little bit. So I have this one from the top. I have a second one now. And you can see that I will have a third one now from this recent top. So this one over here. So where I will be placing my buy stop is just above these recent counter trend line. And if today the price breaks it, I will be happy to enter at 4,200. So I will click right button. I'm going to trading, new order, and I will select pending order, type, buy stop, and the price will be 4,200. And my take profit would be 44.10, $210 higher. So you can see where is my take profit. So if the price continues lower, I will drag my pending order lower just above this counter trend line. And if it's executed, I will continue the video and I will show you what will happen. Dear traders, I continue now the video for the Bitcoin because the trade was executed today. As you can see, currently 27.52 of profit. So what I need to do now, I need to place a sell stop at 1.4. So I will protect my trade this way. I will go to trading and I will choose new order. First, I will change the lot size to 1.4. And after that, I will select pending order as a sell stop. So the price needs to be $70 lower, which is exactly at 41.30. and my take profit will be 210 lower, which is 39.20. Also, the stop loss for this short trade will be the take profit of my first trade. So this is 44.10. This means that if the short trade is executed and then the price will go higher, I will be placing one more buy stop, the same price of 4,200. And when this target is hit, I will take the take profit from the first and the third trade. But I need to close as well this short trade. So the stop loss is the same as the take profit from the first one. And I am placing now the trade. You can see now this is my middle section where actually it's my protected zone where I will be selling and buying further on if the price reverses and continues lower. So what I need to do as well is to place now a stop loss for my first trade, which will be, again, the target of my short trade. So this is 39.20. I will modify the trade. So one more time, if the price goes now the opposite way and executes this short trade, and if my target at 39.20 is executed, I need to close this trade as well. The first trade that it's already on to be on zero, to be break even, as I have already showed you in the formula. So I am modifying the trade, and these stop loss and take profits should be exactly on the same level, so you should not see different lines over here. Okay, guys, thank you for watching. I will continue when my target is hit or when this sell stop is executed, because at this moment I will need to place another buy stop for one lot at 4,200. Today is the 8th of August, 2025, and as you can see on the screen, the Bitcoin is nearly at $4,380, and it's very close to my take profit of $44.10, simply around $30 more to go. And my current profit is at $179. So this is the really nice thing of using aggressive counter trend line, because I am entering much earlier on a cheaper price, and now I will be taking my profit instead of entering, because if I was using the original counter trend line, I would be entering right now somewhere 43.90 or 4,400. Instead of entering, I will be out with the profit. I will continue the video once the take profit is hit. It is Adnan from EA Forex Academy. Today is the 1 of September 2025, Monday. And our take profit was hit early in the morning. Actually, it was by the opening of the market. So, what happened? We had the price of 4,200. I will just quickly place the lines exactly where we were entering and where was our take profit. So it was 4,200. It is our entry right after this aggressive counter trend line was broken. And actually here I have fixed this aggressive counter trend line because before it was from this top over here. Anyway, it is pretty much the same thing. But make sure to always do it precisely. So, we are looking at the highest bar and recent top. And then what we had is the take profit of 44.10. So let me put it again, exactly 44.10. Okay? And what happened actually on Friday? The price, as you can see, went so close, but it didn't hit the take profit, and then it went lower. And actually, this morning, the Bitcoin jumped higher to 45.78. And basically, this was the gap. If you go to M1, you will see that is the gap. But some of the brokers just displayed as a bar that was open here and close here. And normally, it's not just a gap. And my take profit was executed. And here is the swap. Here is why I put these $10 extra, guys. Because if my take profit was hit on Friday, I would be paying much less swap. The trade was executed this morning with the opening of the market. You can see that I have paid $5.90 for the swap. So, totally, I have $204.10, so this is my total profit. And as a time, you can see it was 22:01 at Sunday evening. So you can consider that it's Sunday night. Or I consider it as Monday morning, because I don't wait at Sunday night to see what will happen on the market. And that is the beauty of this system, guys, because I don't stay in front of the computer to tremble to see what will happen with my trade. I'm not thinking here, okay, I will close my trade now because it's so close. I do not want to lose my profit because I really cannot go on a loss with the formula that I have shown you. I'm putting my take profit and placing my sell stop below, and everything is all right. I am following strictly the system, and if the price goes against me, I will be out on zero or small profit. And as I have told you, most of the time, you will hit your take profit straight away. Of course, it's your choice what you will do. If you want to leave it because you can see what happened today, The price reached nearly 48.70. But at the end of the day, this is my system. I follow it strictly. I'm very happy to have $200 on Monday morning, and this is a great way that you can start your day. And basically, I am pretty happy with this profit. And the other thing important here, guys, is that this important level that we set at 44.65. Let me put it very quickly, 44.65. And since this is a resistance line, I will place it with the red color. So this important level that we said, it's right over here. You can see by using this counter trend line. I'm actually locking my trade below this important level because I don't want to take the risk to go through such an important level. And in this case here, you can see obviously that the price went above it. But at this current moment here, we don't know that. So, by using this counter trend line, the aggressive counter trend line that I'm having, I'm entering at a cheaper price, and then I am out before reaching to the resistance line. And if I was using this regional counter trend line coming here, obviously I will be somewhere in right here. And actually you can see that if I was in here at nearly 43.90, 70 pips lower, I would be, or probably I would be into my middle zone to the bottom, and here I would have hit the sell stop, and then here I would have hit my third trade, and I will be out with the break even. I'm not really sure to said that. Depends if I have entered earlier at 43.85 if you are very strict with the counter trend line. And if you're going with 85, you will see that with 70 pips lower would be 15. So, it's right exactly at $70. I'm not really sure to say. I cannot say. It depends very much on the spread and the current situation. Probably you would have entered into the short trade with 1.4, and then you should have placed your buy stop on the long side, and then you would be again on 0 or with small profit. So, no worries about it. But you will not have the $200 profit. And one more, that's the amazing thing of using these aggressive counter trend lines. This is how I call them. And actually, by this time where you would have entered into the short as well and a long again, I'm just taking my profit instead of entering, as I have explained. So let me just remove this important level. And right now, what I will do, I will wait for my next counter trend line to come up, and I will be on the market again. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions for the system, for the formula, for the tools we're using, don't hesitate to ask me on the dashboard. And just take your time, practice it. Go first with smaller lots. Make sure you understand the formula, write it down on white piece of paper. And I wish you safe trading, guys. Cheers. Hello, dear students. I have here formed another counter trend line from this recent top that was actually a record high for the Bitcoin. If you put your mouse on the closing of the bar, you will see exactly the high, and this is $4,920.64. If I zoom out, you will see that this is a record because it's higher than the previous one that we had. And down here, the previous counter trend lines that we had. Actually, here you can see I was able to have one more, but I have missed this one. Anyways, I have now this recent one. I will show it to you one more time. So if I go to the end and I draw it from the top, from the highest point up to the recent high, you will have a nice counter trend line that you can use as an entry point. And as well, if the price falls now lower, I can draw an aggressive counter trend line. But if it doesn't, I can use this one. So right now, I will place an order. Type. I will choose as well, pending order. And from drop-down menu, I will choose a buy stop. I would like to end at 48.10, which is a little bit above my counter trend line, so my take profit would be $130. I am clicking on place, and you will see here is the pending order. And right over here is my take profit. So I will continue the video if my order is executed. But if the price continues lower, I will just drag this entry lower. So this way, I will be able to buy at the cheaper price. Dear students, I continue now the video because the trade was executed, as you can see, at the price exactly of $48.10, currently $23.57 as a profit, and my take profit is at $50.30. Actually, I need to correct it to $50.20 because my target, as you know, is 210 pips higher. So, after my trade is executed on the long side, I need to place one sell stop $70 lower, and as well it will be with the volume of 1.4. From type Y, I'm choosing pending order. And from the drop-down menu, I'm choosing to sell stop, and the price will be $47.40, and the take profit of this one would be $45.30. So, another 210 pips lower, and the stop loss will be the take profit of the first trade, okay? 50.20. I'm placing the order, and as well for the open trade, I need to place a stop loss, which matches with the take profit of the 1.4 trade, which is $45.30. Okay? I'll continue once the take profit is hit or the sell stop is executed. I continue now the video because the Bitcoin aggressively broke $5,000 this morning, and you see that my trade was executed. Since I have opened the trade yesterday, you can see I have only 1.62 as a swap, and my profit totally would be 280.38. So I am out. You can see the price is going now ahead of 51.50. I don't know how much it would be. So I keep my system. I am happy to have $200 as a profit, and I will wait simply the next counter trend line. And of course, I need to remove now this pending order for the sell stop, and simply this is the system. Very easy to follow and very easy as well to manage. Hello, dear traders. I just had one more example with the aggressive counter trend line that I'm having. And I had this trade for the Bitcoin entering at 5,300. And just the moment I was setting my screen and I was plugging in my microphone, the trade was executed. So the price broke this level of 5,300. I will just place it with the green line so you will see exactly where was my price, and I will explain to you exactly what happened. So it was 5,300. Actually, here was my buy stop, right over here. I left it just when it was going down, and I went out, and I came back in 5 to 6 hours, and I saw that my trade was on $100 of profit. I was setting up my screen, and then it was this huge movement, this aggressive movement just before midnight with me, but with the broker, this is the London time right now. The take profit was reached just 15 seconds before 10 p.m. UK time. And if I go to M5, you will see what a huge movement in the last 15 minutes. So, just the time I was setting up my microphone and the desktop, my take profit was hit. So let me show you exactly where was my take profit. It was the level of 55.10. So I would put it as well, exactly 55.10. And why the take profit was at 55.01? This is because you can see now what is the spread. The spread is nearly $20. And this is very common with some of the brokers that when there is a huge volatility, they will increase the spread. And actually late in the night, or later in the midnight especially, most of the brokers increase their spread. And this is a thing actually we cannot avoid. Anyway, that's why I am having this $10 extra. My profit was total of $201.16. So, $201. I don't have a swap because the trade was executed. You can see UK time 1650 and then it was closed at 2159. And that's why I didn't pay any swap. So basically the trade was open during the day and was closed during the day. You can see that it went just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. So yeah, I was out just these 6 hours. I saw the trade was in right here. And I wanted to show the video where I will be setting up the sell stop to protect the trade to use the formula that I have showed you in this course. But just the moment I was starting, it was this huge movement on M5 in just less than 10 minutes. The price went aggressively higher and hit my take profit. Again, I say a little bit smaller profit here because of the huge spread. But again, I have $200 of profit. So nothing to worry about. Just to show you where I am, still an aggressive uptrend after the huge movements that the Bitcoin made last week. We are still in an uptrend with the daily chart, and I was waiting for more aggressive counter trend lines to come so I can enter on cheaper price, and there it is. So right now, I will just wait for my other counter trend line, and probably I will record some more examples, guys. Thank you for watching, and I wish you great success with this system. Cheers. Hello, dear traders. My name is Adnan, and I continue the course with one more example that I'm having with the counter trend line from last night. Recently, the Bitcoin formed this kind of quadruple top. Basically, we have double top when the price is trying to break certain level, and we had here another top. So it was formed like a triple top formation, and this bar actually was the highest. Let me just zoom a little bit so you can see exactly the price in details. So, at this buy, you can see that the high is 7445.27, which is just a $1 above the previous high. And then we have visually that these highs are lower. So what we're doing is we're drawing the counter trend lines from here. So initially, I had this counter trend line here drawn from this point. Yeah? But what I'm looking for after that, guys, is more aggressive counter trend line, okay? So, when this top was formed, I didn't have any counter trend lines here to enter. So, I'm just moving it to the next top, to the next new top that we have over the price, and then I'm just waiting for more aggressive counter trend line. We had a discussion over the dashboard already, exactly on the tops that we need to use, in order to draw the counter trend lines and the aggressive counter trend lines. So basically, I am waiting for a new visual nice top in order to draw the new counter trend line. Okay, so one was formed over here. Actually, I have missed this move over here because it was during the night with me and then I had another counter trend line. First, I wanted to draw it from here, but once again, you can see this is not a top. It is like the price is going up a little bit in a range until here, until this moment where we have this visual top because the price fell down. So after it fell down, I have placed this counter trend line from the top over here. And then I had the chance to have one more aggressive counter trend line. This is what we're looking for. So from this top, we had yesterday this lower high formed, and I have placed as well this more aggressive counter trend line. So last night, I have placed a buy order at nearly this bar. Let me just take the cross. So it was approximately here. I just put it a little bit higher than the counter trend line, and then the trade entered. The trade was executed at 11 o'clock London time, which was 1 o'clock midnight with me, and I was already asleep. So what I am doing when there is a pending order or when the trade is open during the night, I'm just checking it on every 2 hours. So I put my alarm on every 2 hours, and I just have a quick look over the chart to see what's going on. And here I saw this huge move. I saw that the trade was open. I saw that the price went aggressively higher. So my first alarm was somewhere here. I saw it already, it was up, and I decided to leave it this way and to record it in the morning. The price was already far away from the entry, nearly the take profit was reached. I didn't place the take profit because I wanted to record the next lecture with the never-losing formula to place a sell stop. $70 lower, but it was not needed. At the end of the day, because the price just went aggressively higher. So during the night that it's already nearly $200 above, and it was the nice thing to see during the night. Now, you can see my profit is $232 currently, even higher than my take profit. So I can just close the trade and take the profit. So what you see is that I'm just taking the profit, or my take profit would have been a little bit lower. But it is just when the original counter trend line is crossing. So this is what I was telling you before. We are out just when the others will be buying. They will be buying after they see this huge move, or after they use the counter trend line. Because the counter trend line, guys, is very, very popular, and a lot of people are using it. But the aggressive counter trend line is what we are looking for. There we enter at a cheaper price, and there we take this huge profits easily, reaching to the counter trend line. So in this case, again, I didn't have to use the never-losing formula because the price just went higher. I have used it for my other course, for my new course, the cryptocurrency never-losing formula, Bitcoin robot trading, which we actually launched yesterday. So in the same time here, I had this example where I was entering with the robot. So there I combine it with the never-losing formula. And it was somewhere here, it was executed, and I was out with $20 on a profit. I just had the sell stop. Then the price went higher during the night, and it was out of the whole equation. So, really nice to diversify the risk this way. So basically, here I am using the counter trend lines. In the other course, I'm using the robot in order to execute the trades for me. So this way, I diversified the risk between different strategies and systems, and I'm not relying only on the one. This is something that we are doing in the Academy. We use different strategies, different systems in order to diversify our risk, and of course by having the never-losing formula, we are just protecting our capital. Okay, thank you very much guys for watching. I hope you also used this aggressive counter-trend lines and made some profit over here. Have a safe trading, always. I will update the course now with the short example that we are having with the Bitcoin. Many students asked me to show an example how we draw the counter-trend lines if the price is going down, if we are in a short trend. So I have decided to update the course with such an example, and let's have a look first on the daily chart. Clearly, we have a very bearish trend. You can see that the price formed these lower lows and lower highs. So we are having downtrend since February and actually since the end of January. And since this time, the price is very bearish, very negative, and as well, the lowest point that reached was during February right over here. If you see this bar, and I have placed an important level where I am expecting the price to bounce again, or probably to stop there again. Anyway, it could break down. As you know, I'm using these important levels just to have an idea where the price might stop or reverse. And let's go to the hourly chart and see the current trade that I'm having. So, when we are having downtrend and we are looking to sell the Bitcoin, we are drawing the counter trend line in the opposite direction. Let me just fit it into the screen right over here. So, you see the price is going down and then forms a higher low. So, I'm connecting it from the low to the next one. And then this counter trend line actually turned out to be very sustainable because after that few times, the price couldn't break it. Okay? Over here, you see exactly the price touched few times. One candle broke it. But I didn't enter into the trade because let me zoom more and I will show you where was my pending order initially. It was right over here. Okay? It was right over here because I was expecting the price to break this level down, and it didn't, and then it continued higher. So what I did, I was just moving my pending order, my sell stop higher and higher and higher, and then it came to this level where is my current trade at 66.50. And you see what happened? The price just went sideways a little bit. It brought the counter trend line, and then aggressively at 4 hours in the morning, with me, it entered into the trade. So, what I have done, I have placed a buy stop on the opposite direction. And very important here, the spread with the Bitcoin is nearly $50. Around $50. Let me just find it exactly. Where is it? It's right over here. You can see $57 at the moment because of the volatility that we are having the recent hours. So, what I have done, I have increased a little bit the mid zone, and not a little bit, but exactly with the size of the spread. And as you know, with the formula, I'm having normally mid zone of $70. So, when I'm having on average base with my broker $50, I have increased the mid zone with $50 with the size of the spread, and it became $120. So my mid zone is $120 at the moment. And since I am keeping the ratio 1 to 3, mid zone to take profit, my take profit is 360. Okay? Let me repeat it one more time. So, the mid zone normally is $70, but I have increased it with the size of the spread. So now it is a 120, 1 to 3 ratio mid zone to take profit. So my take profit is 360, and as you can see, what I am having entry price 66.50 minus 360, my take profit is at 62.90. All right, and my mid zone is 66.50 plus 120. I'm having a buy stop at 67.70, and my take profit there another $360 higher. But however, today the price just dropped dramatically, and it didn't went into the mid zone. Anyway, I'm keeping always the buy stop till the last moment. Hopefully the trade will be closed, and I will not need to use the never losing formula in this case. So why I have increased the mid zone with the size of the spread? This is because if we use 70 and our take profit is 50, and as you can see, sometimes even a little bit higher, what will happen is you will leave only a distance of $20 the price to move before you go into the formula. Okay? Because if you enter into the sell and you place a buy stop $70 higher, the ask price will need to move only $20 higher, and it will be into the formula. So this way, you will get into the formula much more often. That's why I am increasing the size of the mid zone with the spread. And normally it is about 50 when the market has no such volatility like the moment, but it goes to 49, 48, average to 50. Okay? So, this is how we are drawing the counter trend line when we are selling it. Very same thing, just on the opposite direction. And of course, if I have the chance to draw a nice aggressive counter trend line, I would use it, but till the moment I didn't have actually this counter trend line, as you see, was very, very important. And even I didn't have an impulsive break, what I am looking for always. I still had a good break. And you see the price is very, very close to my take profit. So, I will continue with the example once the price goes down to the take profit, or if it reverses, which actually you should expect at any moment, and you should not be surprised. If such a thing happens, I will continue with the example when the buy stop is hit. Okay? Thank you for watching. And let me know if you have any questions how we are trading the system on the short side. But this example actually provides a very good view and an idea how I am using the counter trend line on the short side for the Bitcoin. Dear students, I continue now with the example because the Bitcoin continues to drop right now, and as you can see, nearly 6,000, so almost $700 for one day. Anyway, my take profit was reached, as you can see, and the trade was closed exactly with $360. So what I really need to do is I will need to delete these buy stop. So one more time, just to review it here, is the counter trend line. You can see I have built it over here, over this higher low, and then the price 1 time, 2 times, 3 times bounced from this counter line. I didn't have the chance to draw a good aggressive counter trend line, but however, you can see the price just broke it, went a little bit sideways and dropped dramatically, which is still fine for me. So, $360 over there into the account, which is just enough for me. And now I will keep looking for new counter trend lines because you see the price just formed actually lower low than this one over here. So when the price forms this low, I will use it as a starting point for the counter trend line. Okay? Thank you for watching, guys. This is how we use the counter trend line on the short side. Keep an eye on the trend on daily always to make sure you're in the right direction. But if this level of 59.55, which is the lowest point here from February, right? If this level breaks, and actually it is very possible to happen today, I don't know if it will happen today, and really I don't try to predict anything. As you know from my courses, I am just following what is in front of me on the screen, and I'm taking advantages of that. But what I wanted to say is that if this level breaks and the price drops below 5955, we will be in a more bearish trend, and I'm sure there will be great opportunities to sell more the Bitcoin. And basically, this is one of the huge advantages here that we are having because we are profiting when the Bitcoin actually is dropping. And unfortunately, many people are losing in the same time on the exchanges. But I am happy I am not one of them, and I will be very proud of you if you succeed as well to take profits with the Bitcoin even when it's dropping down. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching, and let me know if you have questions. And today in September 2025, I have decided to update the course and let you know what we have in 2025. What I am looking at, what is the current trend, and as well, there is an update with the strategy, something that I have added for myself. Of course, first, I wanted to test it out with many trades, dozens or even hundreds before including it in the course. And now, I will do this update and I will show you a recent example as well. Okay? So what you see here is the Bitcoin at the current moment. I don't have open trades with this strategy. I have some others with Forex currencies. But here are the counter trend lines and the trend line. So first, let's start from the trend. What we have since the beginning of 2020, the price crashed because of the coronavirus crisis, and after that it's recovered. However, it broke the 10,000, but not really what all the investors wanted to see. It broke 2 to 3 times, but still fails to make an aggressive break of the 10,000. However, we are still in an uptrend. All right? If I zoom it, you will see that we have series of higher highs and higher lows. This high broke 10,000. And during this day, it happened a few times. But after that, these highs couldn't really break the 10,000, and the price pulled back a little bit. Now, we have a very promising day today, but we'll see what will happen. And regarding the trend, we are still in an uptrend. Even this high is lower than that one. But if this low gets broken, we are in a downtrend. Okay, because we will have a lower high and we will have a lower low. Until this low, the level is 81.14. Until this low is broken, I am looking to buy. If it gets broken, I will be looking to sell. Okay? Let me show you now on an hourly chart what a recent example I had with trade, and I didn't have. To use the never losing formula. So here are the counter trend lines, I believe already from the course. You know how to build counter trend lines. I will zoom it even a little bit more. So here was the very aggressive counter trend line, and here was my example. I think the entry was above the 90-20-30. I think it was exactly at 90-20. Yeah, you can see where is the break. Not impulsive candle, but there was a break. And then $210 higher was exactly reached at 92.30. The entry was at 90.20. The exit was at 92.30. And you see after that, the price broke lower. What happened actually right here? I will show it to you. My counter trend line was initially on this candle, and my pending order was above. All right? It was somewhere here. And this was during the night. You can see it is 234, so I couldn't take this entry. After that, I just moved it. I moved the counter trend line. Here it is. And I took the trade just early in the morning when I woke up. I think it was about 6-7, exactly at 6 o'clock. There was the entry. Just here, I missed it, but then I entered here. Now, what is the update with the strategy? And what is the thing that really a great entry with this example is that I am looking to have a failure of the recent low. So you see the price goes down on the hourly chart. It is forms downtrend. Okay? Because we have a series of lower highs and lower lows. But before I enter, I want to see the price of failing to take the recent low. Okay? In this example, the price failed to take the low, and then it went up. So this is what I call failure of the recent low. And now, let me just move it to the side, and I will zoom out to show you what else I had. Right here was this counter trend line. Then I have my take profit. I didn't have to use the never losing formula. And then the price went down and it made a lower low, which gave me the opportunity to have another counter trend line starting from here. All right, here it is, another aggressive counter trend line. And then I had one more right here. All right, and then I had one more which is from this bar going down. Here it is. Let me just zoom to make sure I have drawn it correctly right through this bar. And then right through this lower high. And now, if I take the crosshair again, you will see that I have a failure of this recent low. And then the price broke at the level of 8,700 and something. My entry was above the round 87.50. It was at 87.60. Right over here, take profit. 89.70. It was not reached right here, and right at this bar, it was reached again just on the top of this bar, 89.70. Okay, so these were two great entries that I took, and after each one, the price just fell back down. However, it was great entry. Now I had this consecutive 2 trades. It's a lot of counter trend lines, but I hope you can see it clearly. Here is the first one, the first entry. I will put one arrow showing up, okay? It's right over here. And then I had one more right over here. So I'm usually looking to do that if the price forms another lower low. Okay? If the price from here just went up, I will be looking for new opportunities. But you see what happened. The price formed another lower low, which gives me the chance to draw another aggressive counter trend line. And in both cases, I have this failure of the recent low that I'm talking about, this one and then this one. So nowadays, if I see that there is no failure of the recent low, I really don't take the trade. Okay? I will show you such an example. Let me just scroll to the chart. Okay, here it is. For example, this one right over here, you can see that there was an aggressive counter trend line right here. But what happened? The price broke this low and then it went up. There was a gap during the weekend here. But even there was no gap. I wouldn't take that trade because there is no failure of this recent low. What I want to see? I want to see a move up, down, and then up again, and I want to see this down or this failure of the recent low. This is very important, guys, because it shows that at this moment, there is buying power. If this low at this moment, when the price fails to take this low, this is a sign that the buyers are stronger than the sellers at the current moment, and they don't allow the price to go down. And they push it higher. And then here my take profit was reached and price goes down, forms a lower low, which is very negative sign. But after that, the price again fails to take the low, which means one more time that the buyers are stronger than the sellers. And I buy again, take profit was hit. So this failure of the recent low gives you one idea, stronger signals. I hope that makes sense. If you have questions, of course, let me know, and I will make sure always to update the course. But as you can see in 2020, still, this strategy works great. The formula works great. So all you need to do is just to practice it on a demo account and practice it a lot before you apply it on a live trading account. And right after this lecture, you will see an assignment where I will ask you to show me such examples. With failure of the recent low, just either from your trading in the future moments from now or either in the past, you can just draw something over the chart and show me such examples with screenshots and pictures. So this way you will practice it. Okay? You can see what happened here. We can draw the line. There is no failure of the recent low at that moment. The failure came right over here. Okay? So show me such examples. Practice over the chart. I'll be happy if you show me at least 3 such examples back on the chart with aggressive counter trend line and failure of the recent low. So I will be sure that you understood the system completely. Thank you very much for watching the course and this update. And if you have any questions, let me know at any moment. I wish you safe trading and always enjoy when you are trading. As a conclusion to this course, I would like to say that the most important in trading is to stick to a trading strategy and follow it at 100%. It doesn't matter if it will be the strategy from this course or any other that you select to use. Try to follow it strictly. This way, you will avoid the emotions while trading, and you will be able to achieve consistent results. I want to thank you for watching this course, and it was really exciting for me to record it. I'm happy I succeeded to record some trading examples because it's not really easy to trade and record at the same time, but I hope that you already know how I do it and how you can do it as well. Let me know if you have any questions. Send me screenshots of your trading platform. If you are uncertain about anything, and I will be happy to give you some tips. Take care and stay safe.